Hello, this is Brian Rowe with Mythic MTG Tech number 134, looking at the new set rotation and what is happening to core sets. Basically, Wizards has decided to abandon the three set block that has been around all the way back since Mirage Vision's Weatherlight. So basically, almost since the beginning of Magic. And they're going to a two set block. Why are they getting rid of the third set? Well, I think it's economics. The third set doesn't sell. Nobody's excited about it. The storyline doesn't always make sense in the third set. Occasionally it seems a little bit forced. I think it's an economic decision. Wizard says that it also gives them more flexibility with regards to storylines, which story drives this game for a lot of players. Not for the spikes, but for a lot of casual players, they like the storyline. And if Wizards is going to focus on that more power to them. Core sets have never really been popular. Core sets were abysmal for a long time. I'm going to talk about them a little bit more here. But I am glad to see the death of the core set. We've got one more core set coming out in 2016. Hopefully they do something really cool looking back to Magic and put some interesting fun stuff in there. But I'll be glad to just see blocks from this point forward, which I wouldn't even call blocks because they're going to be two sets wide. Core sets used to be terrible. They used to have white border cards. Nobody wanted them. They flooded the market. They were only there for new players, and I think there's got to be a better way to get new players involved. 10th edition was a big step forward in doing black border cards, increased the collectability of them. Adding mythics that were new gave us something really interesting to chase, and then having planeswalkers that were new also gave people an interesting reason to buy the core sets. Core sets have definitely been improving over the last few years, but I look forward to seeing that core set energy go into Magic development with regards to new mini blocks or mini storylines. I'm also very curious to see what happens to San Diego Comic-Con promos. They've been based on the core set for the last 2 years, probably will be next year, but after that, they could do anything. I would love to see some historical, older, interesting cards, maybe even some earlier Planeswalkers in that really cool style from San Diego Comic-Con. So as I mentioned, the size is shrinking. This means that cards are going to rotate more often, and some of those sets, especially the ones that would have normally been the first of a three set, are going to rotate out faster. This means that we're going to have a quicker changing metagame. This is a quick reference for how this is being phased in. This graph is missing core set 16 because it doesn't relate to the rotations, but this is a good reference for individuals. What are they doing here? Why are they really doing this? One of the reasons is to fight net decks, and we've seen them pull down the daily deck list to try to limit information to the game. It's a losing war. They're never going to be able to stop individuals from net decking, but what they can do is rotate cards more often to keep the metagame fresh. What type of an impact will this have? Standard is going to cost a bit more money. When you're getting your lands, those are going to rotate more often, and unless they stay the same between the sets, lands are often the barrier of entry. But chase cards are also going to rotate. Your mythics, if they end up being playable, I'm not saying that the Clever Impersonator is playable in Standard, but it's one of the coolest new mythic cards to come out in a long time. But those mythic cards are going to shoot up in value while they're standard legal and they're standard playable and then drop down. So you're going to see faster cycles for investment, speculation, cost with regards to standard cards. What I recommend here is home brewing. The faster the rotation, the less likely it is people are going to know what the best deck is. This is a huge boon for home brewers. It's also a huge boon for those of us that love the story, that like the characters, that are interested in the worlds, the cosplay, that type of stuff, because having these short narrated sets is going to add a lot more flavor and interest to the game. I'm really excited about this. I like this new structure, and I hope that Wizards runs with it and does some amazing stuff. Thanks. This has been Brian Rowe with Mythic MTG Tech, looking at the impact of the new rotation and the death of core sets. Join me over on Patreon. I appreciate everybody who supports the channel.